Here is my top 10 Transformers in my collection of all time, as suggested by Dave Mens in the Transformers YouTube community on Facebook. Number 10 is Generations Warpath. This to me represents a bygone era of Transformers that used good solid plastic, certainly the last of his wave to do so. I love the face sculpt on this figure, and the silver on the figure really makes it pop, and essential for Generations collectors. Generations Springer is my number 9. For me, he, along with other characters in that line, that wave even, redefined the Generations line a much needed kick up the arse. His design is based on his IDW look, and it is quite refreshing to see amazing head sculpt and amazing ratchets. Make him an essential purchase for your Transformers collection. Number 8 is Legends Generation 1 Megatron. Definitely the most Generation 1 accurate Megatron ever to be made. It puts the Masterpiece version to shame, and it's a fun little figure, and if his orange barrel puts you off, just simply paint it. Number 7 is full of Cybertron Bruticus, the G2 redeco. Now, I usually hate garish coloured Transformers, they usually scream knockoffs to me, but this one really appeals. And while his single base figures are a bit hit and miss, some are better than others, the combined mode really works. And this also does something on a, not a technical level, but a very clever thing, that you can get a leader sized figure that combines for under 100 quid. You're never going to get a third party being able to pull off a combiner for that price at all. And because of this figure, we're also getting the 2015 Combiner Wars setup, which I think is a fantastic achievement. Number 6 is Masterpiece Soundwave. He's the first of 3, spoilers, Masterpiece robots in my top 10 collection. This figure just screams Generation 1 cartoon accuracy and has nice little touches that you didn't really need to include, like a headphone jack at the top there to plug in your headphones. There's no need for it, doesn't play music, it's just cool. Plus, getting his little cassette minions is fantastic, and it makes him the Soundwave I wanted when I was a child. Number 5 is Animated Ultra Magnus. For me, the animated line is the most toon accurate produced figure line in the history of Transformers, and this guy is definitely the highlight. I just love his design, the way he's built, and the fact you get some cool light and sound action, for example.
Ultra Magnus here.
Absolutely fantastic. Number 4 is Masterpiece Grimlock. To me, this figure is a fantastic representation, mixing the Generation 1 cartoon and his Diaclone original mould. Nice little touches here and there to represent each one. But he's more special to me because he is the first Transformer my wife got me for Christmas a few years ago. Number 3 is Classics Voyager Optimus Prime. For me, this figure defines the entire mythos of what the Classics, now dubbed Generations, it's all put under one banner, line was trying to achieve, given Transformers modern updated looks as well as modern updated alt modes, but still showing off some of the original aesthetics and design. He is almost a perfect figure for me in both modes, and if you're a collector of the said Generations line, you should definitely have him in your collection. Number 2 is MP10 Masterpiece Optimus Prime. Now, when this figure was first announced, I didn't see the point in it because we already had a Masterpiece Optimus Prime already, MP1. However, once more details of this figure emerged, and it became clear to me that this figure is so Generation 1 accurate that it's like the character has just jumped off the screen and into your hand. And it also gave the Masterpiece line a much needed kick up the ass, because quite frankly it had stalled. Even with MP Rodimus, this figure gave it the much needed revamp reboot that it so required. And probably not a surprise to many people, or people that know me, and I'm sure Dave Mens is going to love this, but my number 1 Transformer, obviously, is Generation 1 Ultra Magnus. I never had this Transformer as a kid. It was one I always wanted. I only ever really seen the complete version at one friend's house. Now I say friend, he was one of those spoiled kids that everyone had as a childhood friend, and he only ever had this on display in shelves. I mean, who just displays toys at that age? You're supposed to play with them. But his toys were always on display. I don't think they ever got touched, or if he did play with them, it was when nobody else was around. But to me, this figure represents a good chunk of my childhood, and he was obviously one of my holy grails to get when I was all grown up and want to start collecting Transformers again. If you are an Ultra Magnus fan, he is definitely want to have in your collection, which I'm sure you will have already. And I would really love the Diaclone version of this guy, but that's never going to happen unless he's re-released at a really affordable price. So that was my top 10 Transformers of all time. Certainly at least at present. Times change, and so do opinions and views and figures and stuff and blah blah blah. You know the score, you know what it's like. You can never have a permanent top 10 list. Certainly Ultra Magnus will probably never get shoved off that list, even when I get the Masterpiece figure, which I will be getting at some point next year. So until next time, I'll see you guys later.